Greetings, welcome to day 14 of Autoforge's development. Today we worked on particles, trying to get particles pulled over from this projectDIG into this new engine, and we had some success there. So the way I had it set up, and it continues to be the case here, is that we have this particle manager that's kind of managing all of the core data for particle effects. So we have this concept of emitters, and emitters will have various channels. So each channel will have its own properties, and like texture, speed, particle lifetime, etc. And I can scroll up here. And so all of this data is being stored inside of the emitter and then inside of the emitter channels. And then whenever we want to create an instance of one of these emitters, we can just say, hey, we want this torch to be created, and we'll use this core data that's being stored inside of the particle manager. So if we go over to here, this is, I have some test code here that's commented out and whatnot, where we're creating the particle emitter data. And then we're just kind of getting and setting the particle data for a component. It's fairly straightforward. And then over here, I should probably go to the header. We have particle system, emitter system. The way that this is working is that we have this idea of a particle component that represents a particle emitter but is not currently active. So this would be something like if you have a torch that's halfway across the world, it doesn't need to be emitting particles. And so instead of containing all that state data for emitting particles, it'll just sit there and say, hey, I'm a torch emitter or particle emitter, so whenever I come onto screen, I will become an emitter and have all of that data. And so this particle system is actually doing exactly that, where it's watching for this particle system is watching for particle components to come onto the screen, and whenever they do, it converts it into an emitter component, and then we have an emitter system that is actually updating all of the active particle emitters, and that is where it's running through the emitter and checking to see for each channel if it needs to be emitting particles, and updating the particle position, rotation, color, etc. And then we actually have the rendering side of things as well, where we set up a bunch of rendering stuff inside of the update function, and we add that layer, and then later whenever it gets drawn, we go through and we actually try to batch up all of the particles so that way they are as efficient as possible. And the end result ends up looking like this, where we have these little, so whenever I press P over here, it just starts emitting little particles, and that's a very basic particle emitter that I have set up. This is a very quick example of the particle system. I think that later down the road I'll probably do a more in-depth version because there's a lot here, or maybe just link to where I implemented it for projectDIG. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have good Christmas and holidays. I'll see you soon. Bye.